What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan. Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. See, I don't even know what day it is. And this is the Thunder Channel on nootropics, on testosterone, on performance. Subscribe to the channel if you're into all of that stuff. Hit the bell to get notified of all future content. A couple quick announcements. I got a coupon code for you for the Torque Stack 15 now. It saves you 15% off a 6 to 8 hour energy nootropic. Get that at livecortex.com or below. And here is a prototype of the new label for Cortex. We have a new formula. It is a focus and flow formula that's going to launch in the next couple months, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so the energy game changer that you need in your regimen. Chemical in question that I highly suggest you bring into your regimen as soon as you can and start dosing, no matter who you are. I think it's going to benefit you, is D-ribose. You probably heard of it, but maybe you don't get like how powerful it is for gym energy, for gym recovery, for endurance, and for brain energy and cognitive endurance. I've been taking this stuff for years now, and it's like I notice it when I'm taking it, but I really notice it when I stop taking it. I have less energy, less endurance, less gym recovery, and a host of other things, which I'm going to get to. So basically, the real powerful kind of mechanistic element of D-ribose is it all really comes down to adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Wikipedia actually says this far better than I could ever say it, so I'm just going to refer to that. It goes, adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is an organic compound that provides energy to drive and support many processes in living cells, such as muscle contraction, nerve impulse propagation, condensate dissolution, and chemical synthesis. Found in all forms of life, ATP is often referred to as the molecular unit of currency of intracellular energy transfer. So put simply, ATP carries energy into cells, and D-ribose is a major substrate in the formulation of your ATP. There's a pathway, it's called the penose phosphate pathway, the PPP. That basically takes, your inborn version of ribose, and that facilitates the production of ATP. Now, the interesting thing about dosing D-ribose, like supplementing it, is it actually helps you to recycle ATP metabolites to get further put into the sort of releasable pool or the store, the reservoir, to make more ATP. And it does that through, I jotted that down, bypassing the need for G6PD via purine metabolism. That occurs in the mitochondria of your cells. Now, what's interesting about D-ribose, like in terms of energy and what it does for you, is like you're not going to notice like a stimulant energy effect when you take it, but it's almost like modafinil in that when you take it, you're functioning better in all these areas, cognitively and otherwise, but you don't feel stimulated. It is widely used very successfully in people with fatigue syndromes, that the basis of which is not like a hormonal or nutrient deficiency, which alludes to the idea that, in those particular people, they're dealing with a mitochondrial dysregulation. D-ribose helps you to recover quicker from exercise. And the predominant reason why this is actually super interesting, and I didn't know this until I really started studying up on it, is that after you go and kill it at the gym and exercise, like say you're going every day, it actually takes you some time, in some cases 1 to 3 days, for you to properly reformulate ATP in an energy homeostasis kind of way. Like ATP takes long to recover after intense exercise. And if you have like some sort of energy production problem, like post-viral fatigue or something that's happening within your energy, like, probably takes longer. Put some research on this in a paper titled The Influence of D-ribose Ingestion and Fitness Level on Performance and Recovery, where they loaded 5 grams of D-ribose in like a protein shake in the morning time frame, and then they loaded 5 grams of D-ribose somewhere around dinner time. And then they had these subjects exercise, high intensity exercise, and then directly after the exercise, they then loaded them again with another 5 grams of D-ribose. So it was like a load period, and then post-exercise 5 grams of ribose, total of 15 grams. And this is what they found. They go, in conclusion, high intensity anaerobic exercise decreases muscular ATP levels, and a considerable amount of time is required for these lower energy levels to recover. D-ribose demonstrated a performance, perceptual, and serum benefits in the lower fitness adult subjects undergoing high intensity exercise. The stress of high intensity exercise has the potential to be benefited with the supplementation of D-ribose around these exercise sessions. Future studies are needed to elucidate the mechanisms of action of DR ingestion exercise. Obviously, it has to do with ATP, and that's what they concluded. Now, before I get to my experience with it, let's go to some anecdotes on this. So on Reddit, in the COVID long haulers forum, where people are suffering from a myriad of symptoms, MCAS, otherwise neurological symptoms, potential like blockade of the cholinergic receptors, which is like super odd, largely a lot of fatigue. I mean, these people are suffering from major debilitating fatigue, and I've been there before in the past post mono, and it's not fucking fun. There's a thread titled 10 to 15 grams of D-ribose plus 10 grams of creatine fixed my chronic fatigue that I've suffered from since early 2020. Guy goes, I already had creatine at home, so I just had to get the D-ribose, and it's hard to describe how it felt when I took it the first time, but I felt energy and blood rushing through me 45 minutes after taking it. Goes, this happened over a month ago, and I am still taking this combination daily with great benefits, especially the D-ribose is still having a great effect up till today. Not sure if the effects weakens if you cut the creatine. So basically, a user had taken creatine and D-ribose and got some great energy resolution from a major syndrome, which is causing him to have fatigue. Another thread titled D-ribose gives me endless energy, in which a user goes, started taking D-ribose just before and during my workouts. I put a scoop, which is 5 grams, in bottled water. I drink about a third on the way to the gym. Somewhere halfway through my workout, I take a sip here and there and finish the drink by the end of the workout. The energy boost is significant and quite noticeable. I would say I added about 45 minutes of intense working out. I don't crash on it. It doesn't affect my sleep. I'm thinking about on and off days just sipping it throughout the day, like in a water bottle, to see if it has a storing effect. Just wondering, does anyone else experience this? I realize we're all different in how we process energy. For whatever reason, it has a profound effect on how I utilize ATP. Any thoughts appreciated? Now, here's a really interesting anecdotal where a user took D-ribose for a week and then stopped taking it and then noticed a difference, an upgrade in his energy baseline, which is really, really interesting to me. He goes in the thread's titled, my experience using D-ribose for fatigue and PEM, which is post-exertional malaise. He goes, experience, tried D-ribose for a week, 5 grams for breakfast, 2.5 grams at lunch. 2.5 grams at lunch and dinner each. So split up 2.5 milligrams. So total of 10 milligrams, 10 grams, it looks like. After 7 days, here's where it gets interesting. He goes, after 7 days, I then stopped the D-ribose, expecting to go back to pre-D-ribose baseline. And I did not decline in my energy after stopping the D-ribose. However, it's not been 7 days since stopping the D-ribose, and my new baseline appears to be better than before D-ribose. So that's really interesting, right? You know, this is where like it gets like totally fascinating for me, right? Because what is it doing as far as ATP goes that is having a lasting effect, right? Is it resolving some, intracellular mitochondrial energy deficiency that a person had, and then you broke this vicious cycle of inhibition of energy, and now the kind of body takes over thereafter and you're cured of your fatigue. So let's talk about my experience in dosing it. I dose about 5 grams a day. That's all I need to dose of it. I don't particularly want to take less of it. I've experimented with 10 grams, 15 grams. There isn't really a noticeable difference. 5 grams is just fine. I actually have it here. It's no affiliation, but I use Life Extensions D-ribose, and it comes with like a big scooper, and that's 5 grams. So I'm probably getting 500 milligrams, a giant heaping scoop, and I throw it in a protein shake in the morning. As I've said, I've used it on and off for many years, starting actually when I had mono back in the day. This is 2013, 2014 timeframe, which helped me significantly to recover. And the first thing I noticed is like when I take it out and then I bring it back in, is like everything that I do functionally improves. I can write longer. I mean, I can conversate with chicks longer. Like everything that my brain does, I can do for longer periods of time, giving me more endurance to do it. I just don't fatigue on this stuff. And it's really bizarre, right? Because I'm waiting for the day that like suddenly like it reverts, and because like I'm cynical about this sort of stuff, right? And then like I'll have my 12 p.m. crash or whatever, 6 p.m. crash or something. I'm just waiting for that to happen. And so far, since I brought it back into my regimen, it just hasn't happened. Now, of course, my testosterone is sitting at 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. My free test is just below the top of the reference range. My E2 is at 25, which I found is like a fucking perfect number for me. I eat well. I don't drink booze. Like, I don't even know when the last time I drank was. I eat a fruit and vegetable smoothie every night. I sleep well. All that stuff's in check. Without D-ribose in the mix, I have less cognitive endurance, right? I have a tad bit less energy at the gym. I have less endurance to do things for long periods of time. That's where it really, really makes the difference in me. And I get fatigued less, if at all. I think you should, if you're wanting to try D-ribose, I think you should give it 7 days to see if it has some significant effect on your energy, right? It's going to take some time. If you have a mitochondrial deficiency and your energy is not functioning correctly, it may take time for your body to get all that stuff back in check. Like it is a process. People take stuff and go, I don't notice it instantly. Stuff that isn't nootropics, because nootropics you should notice pretty instantly and go, oh, it's a shitty supplement, or it's not addressing the problem it's addressing, obviously don't have. But, you need to give this stuff time to work. 7 days, go from there. If you need to bump the dose up to 15 grams a day, totally do it. For most people, largely safe. It's been studied in those quantities, so have at it. Ultimately, the endpoint of energy production is ATP and the mitochondria, right? Understanding that and aiding that, in addition to what we talk about here, makes you a beast. All right, as I said in the beginning, yes, I got a code for you to try Torque. Torque is 6 to 8 hours of stable brain energy, but importantly, it's like dopamine motivation to do stuff, like any clean stimulant. Some stimulants make you feel weird. Torque is like you're going to notice it in 20 to 25 minutes. Your brain's going to light up. Coupon code is 15now. 15now will save you 15% on the Torque stack. Go get it. Get a bottle. Get to livecortex.com. The stuff is awesome. Secondarily, we have another stack that is energy inducing, but largely it will induce verbal fluency, motivation, and give you that dopamine drive to tackle stuff that you're probably procrastinating on. In addition, that helps your memory, helps you function better as a human being. You can get Cortex at livecortex.com. And again, we're launching a new version of Cortex. It is a focus and flow stack, and that'll be out in a few months. Here's a prototype of the label. It is going to be sick. If you need to hire me for anything related to the stuff that we talk about, whether getting your energy back up to par, analyzing your blood work, helping you with your TRT protocol, or if you need to go on TRT, fixing your testosterone problems, formulating nootropic stacks that target certain brain states for you to execute what you need to execute in life, you can do that at livecortex.com. I'm the world's foremost expert on this stuff. Been doing it for 15 years. Appreciate you being with me. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. So much more content to come, my friends. I'm just getting started. Talk to you next time.